Hello and welcome everybody once again to this HeflaTV presentation of the Join Dota League season number 3. It's going to be once again a 2-game series as always in the group stage. MiTH Trust versus First Departure should be an excellent game to say the least, and we're already in the draft. I'm Coucher and once again I'm joined by Mike Lores.
Yeah, these two teams should be pretty evenly matched, although First Departure might have a slight edge. MiTH Trust are definitely capable of taking some games off of First Departure, and really, I think everyone loves First Departure because they do have some pretty flashy players, and we could use a couple of flashy plays after the last set, which was kind of, yeah, it was rather mediocre, let's say. So hopefully the games are good, and well, we definitely have two teams that can make the games really good.
Yeah, it's definitely so, and MiTH Trust, they have a respect band, then Miracle, Naga Siren straight off the bat. I mean, actually, on the recent games I've seen of First Departure, it's not like they play that much Miracle Naga anyway, even if it's not banned out. Some teams just like to make sure though. I mean, last time around First Departure, I saw them pick a Naga, but they actually used it in a support role instead. Which actually went for first big item was a Refresher Orb Naga. that was pretty sick.
Well, I mean, it is a hero that gets a little bit of versatility, especially when you're known for a hero like Naga Siren. Then you could throw someone a severe curveball by picking Naga Siren up early, and then the entire time they're like, okay, how do we shut down the core Naga? How do we shut down a core Naga? And then suddenly it's a support Naga, and everything that they did is suddenly no longer as good. So it's a lot of versatility that First Departure have working. It's a lot of mind games as well. Like, I'm sure if a team really spent that much time in countering a Naga, then Miracle just got into their head just with this skill alone. But it's a lot of mind games, to say the least. So MiTH Trust, they're going to take a couple of bans out. The Naga Siren is the weird one out, but still I would say okay versus First Departure. I think it's still a hero that you can play around. And then pick up the Death Prophet first. So, you know, you can really go anywhere with this hero.
Yeah, it's just such a strong hero at the moment. I think it's probably one of the favorite heroes for almost any given team. The Prophet, just ability to push, as well as on the dire side, just easy Roshan's. But First Departure, Razor the first one, possibly a Doombringer as the second one. I guess Viper is also a possibility. Brewmaster World was banned, so nope, Shadow Shaman Razor it is.
Yeah, seen this opening time and time again. Can't really go wrong with Razor Shadow Shaman. It's, again, a very balanced way to open up, and these two heroes, hell, these three heroes, are going to be good no matter what. There is no lineup that really punishes these set of heroes, and, well, Doom is the second pick for MiTH Trust. I already expressed my dislike of the Doom in general as a hero, especially picked up this early, because there are lineups that do punish Doom. In First Departure, pick up a Jakiro, and then pick up a Pugna. They could very easily end this game before MiTH Trust's Doom gets going.
Yeah, it's his biggest weakness really, just being able to fight that early on, especially if it's up in the offlane. He might not get even that little amount of farm. Yes, with the Devour, he will at least get some gold out of it, but not near enough to actually be able to fight, like, maybe even 10 minutes into the game, depending on how bad it actually goes for him on the offlane. So we'll see about that as MiTH Trust. They do ban out a Nature Prophet now. First Departure, they have played it quite often, even Miracle playing it on the safe lane, tri lane for example, just being super aggressive, TPing from lane to lane early on, and just, to be honest, the way Nature Prophet should be played. Just be that extra one hero on lanes to help out with the kills.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a skill that's as broken or balanced as a global teleport with a very low cooldown level 4, then if you're not using it, then what the hell are you doing with the hero? The Treants are nice, but the Treants are not exactly a unique thing as far as pushing is concerned. There are tons of heroes that could make stuff and push, so it's the right hero, it's the right aggressive hero to play. If you do pick it up, you should be playing very aggressively, but it's not going to be entirely relevant this game, because MiTH Trust are going to kick out the Nature Prophet Rubik, and First Departure, they're going to make sure the Skywrath Mage doesn't see the light of day. Might be an Earthshaker ban out as well. It seems like First Departure with one support already up, they're going to have a little bit more flexibility in their future support picks.
Yeah, I mean, First Departure, they're a team that actually run a Juggernaut support as well rather often, or at least did a week or two ago. I mean, Shadow Shaman plus Juggernaut actually can be extremely strong as well, just shackle into Blade Fury, and on level 1, it's enough to kill most heroes, so we'll see if they maybe want to run that. I guess Earthshaker, like I mentioned, is a possibility for both teams, but Venomites are banned by First Departure, and the third pick, support or core, and even if it's a core, what heroes that are most commonly picked up are actually available? Centaur, Tidehunter, I guess?
Yeah, I think getting an offlane hero is not a bad way to go, especially since Centaur and Tide are both very highly sought after. That First Departure would do nothing but benefit from picking up one of those heroes this early on. They could go for their secondary support, but I don't really see a need to. Like, if they pick up a Earthshaker here, then, I mean, that's fine. It's another essential band of supports from the MiTH Trust side, but there will always be supports that MiTH Trust can have to pick up. I think I like well, I wasn't going to say Batrider, I was going to say Centaur, but Batrider is going to be the pick for First Departure, as they're just going to shore up their lanes first and foremost.
Yeah, I think Batrider is in some ways stronger than a Centaur. First of all, he can go into the jungle, uh, or just way easier than a Centaur could. Centaur could do it as well, but would just be slow and painful. So in that way, Batrider gets his Blink Dagger a little bit more reliably. Of course, he doesn't have the Stampede to help globally for his teammates, but Batrider I've seen actually a couple of times used specifically up against Doombringer. Just focus him out, single him out in that fight, and make sure that he actually can't disable anybody at all. Or they can also just focus the Death Prophet, especially if the exorcism has already been used. Just drag him and focus him down, make it so that there's no exorcism in the fight, and even if he buys back, it's on cooldown. It's a possibility for them. Of course, MiTH Trust, they still have 3 heroes to just try to get at least one hero that can defensively work against Batrider.
Vengeful Spirit's still in the pool, and they need a support, so it should be a pretty nice pickup for MiTH Trust if they do want to go for that. Again, Vengeful Spirit is going to be not only a good counter versus Batrider, but also just a solid enough support hero in general, and there we go. That's what you get for picking up a Batrider so early. You get the enemy a couple of chances in order to counter that hero, and, well, it's going to be a very nice counter in that Vengeful Spirit. So MiTH Trust going to get one of their supports online, and now they could probably go for melee support if they really want to. Then they should be fine doing so. First Departure, they could still go for that Centaur. Stampede with Batrider is pretty ridiculous. So in that case, it'll be most likely a Batrider solo mid versus Death Prophet. Not the best lane for Batrider, but still not terrible either. And then Razor will be in a tri-lane, which Razor at this point are more than used to being in. So First Departure, they have quite a ways to go with this. Right now, what they really have going for them is the initiation edge. But with the Abaddon pickup, that's a very nice, very strange pickup for First Departure.
Yeah, it's pretty nice against Doombringer in the sense that you can just keep that hero alive even if he gets doomed. And overall, I mean, the 40 shield as well as Mist Coil, keeping anybody alive against anything can be extremely good, but I just want to touch on the Vengeful Spirit for a second. I think it's so good, like I mentioned already, up against Batrider, just get that swap out, but the minus armor, boosting up Death Prophet's damage, getting them earlier access to Roshan as well. Just such a versatile pickup in their own lineup, even without the Batrider being there for First Departure. So, for MiTH now, how do they go about this? Do they get some form of silence for a hero that builds silence, for example, to try to deal with the Abaddon, make it so that he can't heal? Or is Abaddon not as scary? I mean, do you just go for more burst that he can't heal through it? Or what's the game plan up against the hero as such?
Well, I think for Abaddon, there's generally 2 ways to go. One, you could just load up on silences, get the Skywrath Mages, Dooms, then Death Prophets, and anyone who just has a silence, and then make sure that Abaddon is ignorable. Or you could just go super, super aggressive on him in the early stage, and then hopefully punish the fact that he's just a melee support. With the Vengeful Spirit start, MiTH Trust they have another 2 picks to kind of make that happen, and it's perfectly reasonable for that to actually happen. So it really is up to them for the most part. Abaddon, not really a hero that I have a ton of respect for, although if he's in the right spaces at the right times, he could be a great hero. First Departure, they're kind of setting themselves up for a turbo late game with this Abaddon pick, and I'd like to see a really hard carry as their last. They just have Batrider solo lane, have Razor solo lane, and then Abaddon, Shadow Shaman, and then something along the lines of Spectre be the lineup for a First Departure. As MiTH Trust, they go for a Weaver, so they are potentially going for that super aggressive lane. Vengeful Spirit is a nice setup stun for whoever else they want to pick up, and Ancient Apparition Bandit would have been pretty much the best pickup possible for MiTH.
Yeah, I mean, just Ancient Apparition completely negating Abaddon's ultimate pretty much. So, nice ban out there, plus of course, the Chilling Touch of the Ancient Apparition works pretty nicely with the Weaver, him having the Cheminate attack of course. Just lots of damage output coming from there already in itself. And First Departure, you mentioned the Spectre. It would be so sick, to be honest. Abaddon just completely healing him all the time, making it so that the dispersion will do just even more before MiTH can actually properly kill off the Spectre. But if Wraith King was the ban from MiTH instead, So they were expecting that core, I guess. Of course, any kind of stuns will be good up against Weaver for first departure. And so far, it's not like they have the craziest amount of lockdown. It's really only the Shadow Shaman and the Batrider.
Yeah, they have Lasso, but they don't really have anything to combo with that Lasso. There's no Mystic Flare or any huge burst onto a single target that you could seriously consider grabbing a Doom later on and bursting him down by the time the Lasso is up. So first departure, they're kind of light on damage. That's what happens when you pick up an Abaddon pick, a super defensive hero. So yeah, we'll see what first departure want to go for. It's only going to be Lifestealer. Okay, well, it's a hero that is going to be kind of that hyper carry if you do want to build him like that. Like, I wouldn't be surprised to see MiTH builds coming up from him. It is a hero that is punishable, though. MiTH Trust with 2 ranged heroes already in lane can go very aggressive versus Lifestealer, Abaddon, Shadow Shaman, but I mean, first departure, they just have so many defensive skills. The Firefly, everything Abaddon has, the Rage. It's going to be hard for MiTH Trust to get ganks off that they really want to have happen, especially since they don't really have that much initiation right now.
Yeah, and if the Batrider gets off to a decent enough start, gets that, let's say, 10-minute blink dagger or so, the lifesteal bombs, they actually have, I think, will have a rather high success rate. I mean, you don't even have to get the perfect lasso if the lifesteal just pops out and gets the open wounds to follow. But now MiTH going for a centaur as well. They're just going for the kite of the lifestealer pretty much at the moment. I mean, open wounds, yes, all fine and good, but suddenly Stampede comes out and they can't do anything anymore. In theory, at the very least. Plus, MiTH, they're building themselves up a semi-tanky lineup here as well.
Yeah, this is going to be either a Doom jungle or a Centaur support. Either way, it's not going to be the worst for MiTH Trust, but Vengeful Spirit into Centaur is pretty nice setup, but not when you're dealing with an Abaddon on the other end. So things get a little bit iffy for MiTH Trust's lanes. As first departure, their lanes are pretty much shored up with the Lifestealer pick together with Abaddon, Shadow Shaman. They could conceivably even go super aggressive with these 3 heroes. It's not going to be the cleanest since Abaddon and aggressive tri-lane is nothing to write home about, but they could probably get away with it given MiTH Trust's lanes right now. And the fact that MiTH Trust, their lanes aren't that strong, so they have to be taking this late, I think. And if it does go late, they have a chance, but early stage shouldn't be beneficial to MiTH.
Yeah, I mean, first departure, like you mentioned, they just have the more aggressive and more stable kind of lineup, especially since MiTH, I mean, going greedy is always a risk. I mean, I've seen a couple of times when Doombringer was used in the jungle, just as a 4th position, just have that solo support, try to do something, anything at all. I think just the biggest weakness of it, especially in just the current metagame, is the supports. The early roaming of supports is usually what sets the entire pace of the game. But when your Doombringer is in the jungle, it's not like the Vengeful solo has the potential to do too much across the map.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, because the supports are so influential nowadays, the fact that First Departure have picked up an Abaddon means that they're not going to be able to roam very effectively. Abaddon roaming is nothing impressive at all. It's actually pretty terrible. So, First Departure, if MiTH Trust do want to go for the Jungle Doom, I don't know if First Departure will actually be able to punish that. Like, we'll have Shadow Shaman who could, in theory, go for a little bit of punishment, but that's about it. So that might be what Doom are gearing up to do. That might be what MiTH are gearing up to do with their Doom, because he should have a fairly easy time in that jungle. He'll need a lot of time because Doombringer jungle doesn't get online until much later.
Yeah, unless he just finds himself a Wild Wing early on and just starts stacking up or something like that, do it Chen or Enchantress style, then maybe. But yeah, Doom definitely not the fastest one. But as everybody's disconnected, or not everybody's, but one player has. I don't know why I even thought that, but one player yet to pick up his hero. We can just go over the lineups. For MiTH, on the dire side, MyPro will be playing the Death Prophet, with Lakels on the Weaver, KYT to play the Doombringer, leaving ST on a Centaur, with T and K, the last one on the Vengeful Spirit.
Alright, and on First Departure we got Lubby playing the Shadow Shaman support. Currently the Abaddon is going to be support play by Kai, who is, for whatever reason, not here. KS is going to be on the Razor. I don't know if you know how to pronounce the bat, but that's going to be the Bat Rider. And then Mikasa / Miracle is going to be playing the Lifestealer.
It's just Dafa.
Okay.
At least, that's why I called him all the time.
That's simple enough then. So Dafa is going to be playing the Bat Rider. So once again, it's going to be Skype issues. Skype is going to be always very finicky.
Yeah.
I want to know the story. Austin getting scammed.
I mean, they're just building up the suspense. It's like, yeah, it happened, but we're not gonna tell you how or why or no details, man. That's the worst kind. That's just teasing.
Alright, well, I mean, we already kind of went over the status of this game. I don't really think too many surprises are going to happen, although MiTH do have a little bit of lane flexibility. The real only X factor is whether or not First Departure want to lane their tri-lane aggressively or not, and it's not going to change the way the game flows too much. Also, where this Doom goes is also going to be pretty interesting to see, as he does go for boots first, so this isn't going to be a jungling Doom. He is, in fact, going to be going towards his lane, and it looks like that lane is going to be bottom solo, so
support
it is going
Centaur.
to be a support Centaur.
Man, I've seen Net from Titan actually be a roaming Centaur Warrunner. Started off with like dual offlane, or I don't even remember which the other hero was. Might have been a Batrider, but he was literally just roaming around solo pretty much the entire time. It was the weirdest of things. It somehow worked out for them. Not the greatest, but I mean, support Centaur. Vengeful Spirit has to get pretty damn close as well for his own stun, so I'm not too sure how well that just duo will work out.
Well, I mean, that is Titan, to be fair. Like, no mortal team can do that, so we'll see if it works out for MiTH. They do have a decent enough setup for Hoof Stomp. It could be better. It could be a disruption or something like that to really let them get in, but if it's going to be just a Batrider on the off lane, then Batrider does actually have a chance of dying here. He does have boots, so he should be kind of safe for the most part, and with Kai chilling for now, he's definitely not going to die super early on, but this is of course going to mean that the Lifestealer is going to be going, for the most part, versus Doom, because Lifestealer is already sitting in the southern river area. This is just a lane that if Lifestealer was left alone, he would be winning. Doom has no armor and a lot of health, and that's exactly what Lifestealer wants to see, because Feast is going to hit Doom so hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so good Lifestealer all in all against heroes that have just rather high strength early on or a high health pool. So like I said, they can just leave him solo as well if need be. Lobby has to just luxury to roam around without having to worry about his safe laner. So that's always a nice thing, and Lobby already moving towards the top side. I'm not too sure if they spotted out anything that just told them something about the lanes, or they want to smoke up with Kai, and actually they don't even have a smoke, so just going to the top side.
Yeah, putting these three heroes up here is probably the best thing for First Departure, because Miracle on the bottom lane is going to be just so self-sufficient. In fact, without any other hero with him, it's just the Doom already bailing to his own jungle. So Lifestealer in a 1v0 lane should be pretty easy for him. I expect to see lots of last hits, and well, he's probably going to regret picking up this Orb of Venom, seeing as though there's no one to actually hit, but regardless, what's done is done. He's going to be getting the easiest time possible. Of course, Dafa up on top lane is going to have a much more difficult time with Vengeful Spirit constantly threatening. But now with that Abaddon is here, Batrider is now pretty much completely safe, and Kai's got to be the one who's in a little bit of trouble. I still like to see Lubby down here just pulling and getting experience for himself, because Shadow Shaman at level 1 is not that great, especially when you compare him to a level 3 Shadow Shaman with the extra nuke as well as a Hex. So I'd like to see Lubby get some levels, and he's not going to get them top. He could get them bottom with the pulls. Mid is definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see him just pull through as well as stack for the Batrider. I mean, at some point, maybe they can just leave Abaddon to try to soak up some XP, although it's going to be scary. If he gets caught, he's just done for. Yes, you can save others with the Aphotic Shield, but if you're stunned yourself, that really doesn't help you at all in any case. But Lubby now, he's pulling through. He's going to start with a double pull. Hopefully he can actually manage the timing as well. It's not the hardest thing to do, especially if you're a ranged hero. And, I mean, if you're playing on a pro level, the double pull through should be pretty much the easiest thing to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, if I could do it, they could do it too. It's the triple pull where things get a little bit more sketchy, but double pulling is fairly basic. And please, Lubby, actually make this happen. It'll be embarrassing to mess up after we talk you out. There we go. Okay, he's going to double pull through. And really, Mikasa doesn't need the help, or Miracle doesn't need the help, but he's doing very well versus the Doombringer. Doombringer at this point should just be mostly jungling, I think, offensively, as he does have TNK as well as SD moving into the enemy jungle. This is a very deadly combination. If they catch Lubby, they will bring down the Shadow Shaman, but it looks like they're instead going to, well, just take a quick look at the camps and see if there's any stacks going, and then think about going towards mid. Killing this Razor is going to be a little bit hard, especially when the smoke breaks. So, pings out and Razor knows what's up, so this gank should not happen.
Yeah, I mean, they have another smoke, so they can still just try to focus on bottom lane instead, but having to use 2 smokes this early on, it's not the best or the most ideal of things. As top lane, At the very least, Weaver, he should be able to hold his own up against Batrider. It's not like the Abaddon can do any additional harass or anything. Maybe just allow Batrider to dive a little bit further, but that's about it.
Yeah, if the MiTH Trust just leave Weaver up here by himself, then he'll be just fine. Especially with the Magic Stick, and as far as heroes with Magic Sticks go, Weaver is one of the best carriers because if he has it constantly full, then Shukuchi is going to be constantly harassing the Batrider, and Batrider is so reliant on the Napalm, he doesn't really have an option to not cast it. So MiTH Trust kind of doing the same thing that First Departure are doing with their Lifestealer. The lanes are beneficial, so you might as well just leave those heroes alone. Now they're going to go for KS, who has access to run up north. Of course, there's no escape if he does go in that direction, but he will be forced to book it. SD taking a couple tower shots, and TNK and SD spend a lot of time to do absolutely nothing. Catching this Razor is hard. I mean, he only has brown boots right now, and he doesn't have any points in unstable current, but still, when he's that far up and has that many options to run away, getting a kill on anyone in that position should be pretty difficult.
Yeah, and actually KYT not even farming all that much on the Doombringer. He has been in the enemy jungle a little bit, soaking some XP and lobby. Oh, can he deny? Nope. Attack range not enough on the Shadow Shaman. So KYT picks himself up the invis and most likely will just sit in XP range with it, I think.
And if you take a quick look at Mikasa's build, he's gone for the Orb of Venom that I mentioned before, but he also has Phase Boots. So he's looking to go for a very aggressive start with his Lifestealer, not going for a MiTH, which he could have gotten very quickly. Instead, he wants to fight early on, and with an Abaddon, I think that's probably the correct decision for First
I think
Departure.
lobby is done for pretty much. The rotation is coming in from ST as well as TNK. I don't think the Shadow Shaman can escape anyway.
You have to believe in Lubby's escape potential. He's not even moving, man. He just stood there and accepted his fate. Here comes Miracle. He's gonna take a magic missile straight to the dome, but yeah, Lubby, he was not gonna get out of there. I don't think yet anyway. But TNK taking a lot of damage from Mikasa. Actually, the Phase Boots plus the Orb of Venom. SD with a beautiful body block. He hid in the little corner in the trees, then popped out to block for the Vengeful. Still, Mikasa's going to be just fine. Miracle, I'm going to call him both. He's going to be just fine. He's actually going to dive the Doom under the tower. Has a Rage. Body block from SD. This time not going to work. He's actually going to go for TNK as well. Jumping very low. Double Edge is going to skewer the Lifestealer down. So it's a 1-for-1 in the end, or 2-for-1 in the end, rather. MiTH Trust should be pretty happy with how that went. The Doom didn't have that much farm anyway, so losing him to the Lifestealer in exchange is perfectly reasonable.
Yeah, especially since Centaur, I mean, especially support Centaur, he would be struggling for levels a little bit otherwise. But suddenly, I mean, he's getting closer to level 6. Any kills will help out for that. And Lifestealer, I mean, he hit level 6, killing off the Doombringer. So he thought he can infest, but he actually hesitated. He wanted to go for the last right click on Vengeful, then try to infest, but by that time the double H already came out. So excellent kill there, but FT, they are on the hunt for mid lane. They want to kill off MyPro or, well, anybody else who might come here. But I'm not too sure if they can get close enough. I mean, Death Prophet, he is pretty damn speedy with Witchcraft level 3.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to catch up to her, let alone kill her. KS has been playing this fairly aggressively the entire time, so I don't think his playstyle will really let them know what's happening, but they're going to run into each other, both supports. Kai is going to take the first stun. No Stomp to follow up, though. TNK is going to grab the regen rune and regenerate a good amount of the mana she just spent. Kai can't do anything. As I said, Abaddon as a roamer slash ganker slash anything but static lane support is not going to be doing anything, and that'll continue to be the case until he picks up an item that helps him, maybe a Force Staff, but even then it's going to be rather uninspiring. So, First Departure, they're getting some good farm onto Miracle, who, oh, please don't tell me that's going to be a hand of MiTH.
I think Armlet, man.
Yeah, I want to say it's Armlet too, but it might be a MiTH. I don't know.
Well, the bad thing with Armlet up against Doombringer is that if your Armlet is activated and you get doomed, you're just going to take additional amounts of damage. So, might not be the best thing depending on the situation, but in any case, Miracle, he's being pretty damn active or aggressive on this bottom lane at the moment, wanting to pressure the tier 1, create some just space on the map for their team. Whereas KYT, he's probably going for a hand of MiTH. I mean, that Gloves of Haste, I highly doubt he's going to go for a Maelstrom, but Black Health comes to the bottom lane. Miracle actually is pretty damn low on health. He actually might go down here, a few more right clicks, he needs to invest into something, anything at all. He's going to get it as well. This creep, he's going to be fine for a little while.
No one expects the ganking Weaver. Like, that's kind of unseen because Weaver would have been very happy to get some farm up on top, but instead he's going to try to go for kill on the Lifestealer. It's not going to happen. In fact, Lifestealer's waiting for Abaddon to come in. Lakel's has full mana, so this is not going to happen. He might even still go for Mikasa here. There is a potential for open wound turnaround. Now with Kai coming in, Mikasa's not going to die here. But I don't think Lakelz is going to die either. Mikasa's now salving up, and Kai's taking a good amount of damage, actually. He's going to go down solo to Lakelz. He's going to chase forward with the Shikuchi. Kai with the sick jukes, not going to happen. Lakelz gets the kill, has a time-lapse available. He's even just going to duke it out with Mikasa. And I think he's going to win this one as well. One more Pokeroo, and Lakelz is going to get a double kill. In the meantime, KS is going to chase down MyPro, almost get that kill on the Death Prophet, but Lakelz teleporting down to the bottom lane and getting a double kill versus the Lifestealer. That's a huge play from this Weaver.
Yeah, it's absolutely, I mean, it's something that you said, you just don't expect all that much or this early on, just Weaver to come into another lane, start ganking people up, but Abaddon, just completely useless, I want to say. I mean, yes, 140 shield, some missed coils, but he can't do anything himself. He's level 4 now, as is the Shadow Shaman, so it's not horrible, but you would definitely want to have level 6 on both of the supports. Miracle comes back to the bottom lane, but Dafa, he has himself a Blink Dagger finished, he has a Smoke of Deceit picked up as well, so it might be enough to bring down Lakelz. I mean, he's not the tankiest of heroes on the Weaver. Well, with the power resistance strength, might be able to survive potentially, but I think the first Blink gank here is going to be so important for first departure.
And I actually really like this from MiTH. They're going to put Lakelz versus Miracle, and that's a lane that Weaver, again, is not going to struggle too much against. In fact, he's winning it quite handily. In the meantime, Centaur is up on top farming for his Blink Dagger, and Mikasa is going to try to go toe-to-toe with Lakelz. Here comes Kai once again, but Mikasa, he tried this last time. This time he has Dafa to back him up. Mikasa dropping pretty low. There's the open wounds. There's no vision, though, and Ishikuchi's away. Doom is available, and it's probably going to be... Oh, it's actually going to be thrown on the Bat Rider. Never mind. I don't know if he can get this kill, especially with Kai in the area, although TNK is closing in. Lakelz is still pretty weak, and Miracle wants to go back in. With this shield, it's not that much survivability. They're going to catch KYT in a corner, and this is going to be the death of the Doombringer. Chased a little bit too aggressively against the Bat Rider, so it is going to be nothing but a kill going the way of first departure, but still in the top lane. There's MyPro with the Exorcism active. They're going to take down this tier 1 tower. Lubby can't do anything, and off of this, SD is going to get his Blink Dagger. I would say MiTH Trust, they're still sitting in a pretty comfortable position.
What? How the hell does support Centaur get a 10-minute Blink Dagger? But oh, they actually get the kill on Venge Spirit on the bottom lane. MyPro though comes in, can he get slows anything at all? Sticky Napalm slowing them down actually in return. Grips 4 into Kai, he's only level 4, they need that little bit of extra right clicks. Oh, the deny, nicely done by Kai, but man, that's still a death.
Yeah, I mean, they got the Vengeful Spirit. They didn't get the tower either, and now Lakelz wants more. He's going to find Dafa, but the Blink Dagger out for a Bat Rider, not going to help him. I think he's going to go down here. Oh, yes, especially with a blinking Centaur. Here comes the heat. Bat Rider's going to get skewered down by the Centaur. That's his Blink Dagger and Stampede 10 minutes in. The rotation of the Centaur into the core farmer role after the little bit of roaming is certainly going to benefit SD quite a bit now that he has his Blink Dagger. And oh, do they know Mikasa's here? Oh, they certainly do. Lifestealer doesn't have a prayer now. He's going to be cornered by Lakelz and easily poked down. Now SD's going to get a stomp onto Kai, teleporting in. MyPro's coming around from the side as well. Cryptstorm onto Kai, and he's dropping pretty low. Lakelz on the chase, and Kai, that shield is not going to hold up. Lakelz, one more hit. There it is. Actually, no, it's another suicide from the Abaddon, so that's pretty nice. The Lakelz is going to time-lapse his way out. Lubby's going to find him, but the Shiguchi is still going to keep him safe. Now Doom onto KS, going to do pretty much nothing, but disengaged for MiTH. They're taking so many great fights right here, and the Lifestealer is pretty much not doing anything despite his early farm. And neither is the Abaddon, really. The Abaddon's always getting caught, and you never want to have your Abaddon take focus until he gets level 6.
Yeah, it's going pretty bad, and MiTH, they're playing it pretty nicely. The Doom, though, this Doom as well as the last one on the Bat Rider are not the best ones, because first of all, it didn't result in anything. And the Bat Rider, I think, was just a wrong target when he already has his Firefly activated, but in any case, it's looking pretty damn good for MiTH, especially Lakelz just getting a crazy amount of farm already. Perseverance finished up. Doombringer got his Hand of Midas now running as well. So farm game, first departure, probably not gonna want to take it at the moment. As Exorcism, it's still level 1. But Roshan, I mean, if MiTH really wanted to force it, they could easily go Roshan. Just get Wave of Terror from minus armor, Exorcism for the damage, and just get it.
And I'm really surprised that Lubby hasn't been on this bottom lane more often. The Weaver's been running circles around Mikasa, figuratively and literally, and now that Lubby's here, they actually stand a chance of killing Kells, but there's an instant snap of the lasso. Now SD's gonna jump forward for a 2-man hoof stomp, double edge onto Mikasa. We'll dodge the magic missile, but I don't think he'd actually get anything with it. Now Lakelz is gonna try to go for Dafa. He's gonna get held up by Lubby just a little bit, and the damage not gonna be able to kill off Lakelz. He does time lapse it out. Here comes the Lifestealer back in the creeps. Lakel's still trying to go for lobby. He's going to get one. Has another Shikuchi. He's going to look for another. Dafa taking quite a bit of damage. Lakel's is going all alone, but here comes SD with another 2-man hoof stomp. Mikasa's going to get the kill on the Centaur, but he will go down in the end. Dafa will blink out of there as Lakel's now trapped in the corner. Is going to get himself a little bit more mana now. He's going to try to duke it out versus Kai, and maybe just trying to book it. The Flame Break is going to miss, and Lakel's is going to survive. The Perseverance actually regenerating him quite a bit within this engagement, and he could even consider going in one more time, although into a shield from Abaddon, it's going to be a little bit risky. He's going to catch Dafa. There's no Blink Dagger now, and that's going to be the death of the Bat Rider. Lakel's is just going nuts in this game. He's 7-0-0, and without a Hex to stop him, or a Shackle, or both, there's nothing that First Departure could do about this Weaver, especially once he gets his Lincoln Sphere. Then, First Departure are really going to struggle.
Yeah, I think for good reason, Lakel's is one of the top carries in the Southeast Asian scene. I mean, he's been that for quite some time, but he's just showing us why at this game. But there's a smoke from SD as well as KYT. They have the Doom, they actually Stampede is on cooldown, but with the Blink initiation, which SD has been doing so nicely so far. Can he get another double here? It's potential there. Yes, he's going to get the double hoof stomp. The Doom onto KS as well. Lobby going to be an easy kill. One more right click. That's all they need. KS. The War Stomp from KYT as well. Can they actually chase him down? No, Miracle comes in. So KS, he's going to survive, but it's another kill for them.
Man, MiTH Trust, they're just on such a huge snowball right now. Weaver, he's not yet at his Lincoln Sphere, but they're going to lasso in onto MyPro. This time it's not going to be snapped by a Venture Spear, but now here comes the Centaur once again. They're actually going to swap off the Lifestealer for some reason. That did literally nothing, but that's fine because MiTH Trust, they got engaged upon, but they all successfully disengage. And in the meantime, that's just buying more and more farm for Lakel's to farm up on the top lane. And First Departure, they just can't get anything going. This Vengeful Spirit pickup, I still maintain is the best pick versus the Bat Rider possible, and also the Centaur has been just doing work with his hoof stomps. He's been hitting like 2 people on average, or 1.8 or something like that. Superports are going to be deployed for this mid-tier 1 tower, which is a nice little win for First Departure. They desperately needed this tower, and it will be brought down by Mikasa. So a little bit of gold for them, but I don't know if that little amount of gold is going to be enough, given the fact that this Weaver is going nuts, and they're currently sitting at a 5,000 plus gold and experience disadvantage.
Yeah, it's absolutely huge for MiTH at the moment. I mean, we were expecting First Departure to maybe be a little bit more aggressive, but it really boils down to just this Abaddon pick. It hasn't done anything at all. 3 deaths, 1 kill, and that's pretty much it. Yes, it's kept people alive for a little while longer, but it's just the hero's early presence. It's not enough. I mean, if you're going really aggressive with like with a lineup that goes aggressive Trilon and starts diving early on, then the Aphotic Shield Mist Coils might come in handy, but with the way they've been playing or approaching this game, it's just don't see where the Abaddon is supposed to come in. But now, Roshan #1 is attempted by MyPro and his team. It's going to be an easy one unless First Departure. Are they going to be fast enough? KS. Plasma Field comes through SD. He drops so damn low. Stampede comes out. They pick up the Aegis on Lakel's. They get the stun onto KS as well. But Dafa, he comes in. Can he get the lasso? Actually, not using it on anybody Lakel's. He's on the run, hexed up, but Sukuchi movement speed still hasted up. It's 1 kill. MyPro, he goes down, but KYT, he's going to get shackled up as well before he gets his ultimate. 2 kills going in the way of First Departure. I mean, SD dropped so damn low as well, barely getting out there with the Stampede, but I mean, Aegis on Weaver for 2 kills. I think First Departure got the better of this.
Yeah, that was definitely the best fight First Departure I've taken this game, and again, guys, sorry for the dog. Nothing I can really do about that except for raise a couple of Frankers, I suppose. Weaver on the bottom lane is going to mess with the Razor just a little bit, and there's Sentry Wards covering this, but Lakel's, he's just going to mess with the Razor. I mean, he's perfectly fine with the Aegis, so it's definitely the biggest win that First Departure have had, and they're going to try to go for a tier 2 push off of this one. MiTH Trust, the Roshan just completely wrecked them. Like, that was probably the largest source of damage, and caught in an awkward position to start things off is never a good time, especially against the Bat Rider initiation. So MiTH Trust, I expect that to not really be the case moving forward. That was kind of an anomaly in their fights, as they did get the Aegis, so now that they have that Aegis, they could take fights a lot more comfortably, especially once Weaver gets 100 more gold and picks up his Lincoln Sphere. MiTH Trust, they should be looking for a tower push soon enough, and it looks like it's going to be a mid-tier 1.
Yeah, man, if only they had waited with that Roshan for a little while. I mean, Venture Spirit just now picked up that Medallion of Courage. With that additional minus armor, it would have died so much faster, like 10-15 seconds potentially even. But they are still going for the kills. Miracle might be the one getting the bad end of the stick. Gets the rage up, but the Doom is there anyway. Is he going to get chased down those Stampede? Yes, he is. Even swap back just in case. They're going to get Kai as well. He has the ultimate this time around. Gets to pop it as well. Lakel's going to get shackled up, but silence onto Lobby. Oh, they're losing to actually make it 3. Miracle. He buys back as well. Dota, he wants to get anything, but he was up in the air. Can't even get that lasso as Miracle. Gonna get full hit by Lakel, so can just go balls deep. Mech comes out. Lasso onto actually a creep. Oh my god. Dafa, huge mistake, but SD might go down. One more right click Miracle. Yes, he gets that 1 kill, but it's a support center at this point in time. Don't think it's enough, although TNK might be going down as well. The backup, it's not there in time, Miracle. Open wounds, 2 seconds. The silence is there, buying some time. Yules as well, Lakel's now, he's arrived, they want to go for Dafa, the Swarm is there on both heroes actually, Miracle, Rage or not, I think it's going down to physical damage, Dafa stunned up by TNK, KS finally rejoins the fight, what the hell is this ring around the Rosy Kai, if he goes down, Miracle is inside of him, they can't lose the infest, he comes out, trying to escape, armlet toggling, he actually makes it out, I think Lakel's maybe, no, shackled up under the tower lobby. He is the sacrificial lamb, but how many heroes did they lose there? Oh, my pro actually, what? He's gonna die? Nope, Yule Scepter. Physical damage, Lakel is gonna have to kill Miracle right now, and he succeeds.
Alright, so total kill score differential after that. It's First Departure getting 2 kills, and MiTH getting 7. And make that 8. So, yeah, MiTH getting such a great fight. Lakel's rather, he even stopped fighting halfway through that to kill the tower. And then rejoined. That was like when they were looping around the Ancients, like that entire time when the Weaver wasn't there. That's because he was busy killing the tower and then he was trying to catch up. So MiTH, they take a crushing fight, and as I said before, that fight in the Roshan pit, that was just an anomaly. You can't expect that to happen for very long as MiTH take a huge series of fights, and look at the gold change after that. That is just disgusting how much advantage MiTH have right now.
Yeah, it's just the fact that Lakel's, I mean, he was struggling to, not struggling, but he was slowly getting close to his Lincoln Sphere suddenly. He has his Lincoln's finish plus a Mithril Hammer on top of that. He just got like 1.8k gold from that one fight. Just absolutely sick. Dafa though, they're gonna catch my pro with the lasso. He's pretty low on mana as well, and he's gonna get taken out, but it's just a drop in the ocean at this point.
Yeah, this Weaver has really got to be the target that First Departure really prioritized, but he has a Lincoln Sphere now, so how are you going to kill him? There's no Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman. Blink Lasso is not going to work. Maybe... No, no. I mean, Lifestealer Bomb is a potential combination with Dafa, but that's also not going to do jack. So, Serpent Wards are going to be deployed. It's a Tier 1 tower. It's going to be going the way of First Departure, but here comes the Kelch from the side. How many shots does it take to kill Lobby? Probably just 4. He's going to get shackled up, but now here comes the Doom. And Lakel's going to slip away. Huge 3-man hoof stomp coming out from SD. Where is Lakel's? He's still in the middle of everything. He time-lapsed back, and now he's just going to town. Already a Shadow Shaman is down. KS dropping pretty low as well. TNK is getting chased down by Mikasa's. Dafa's going to try to go for Lakel's. Does still have the Aegis. TNK dropping pretty low, and the Aegis is going to bring the... where's Death Prophet? Death Prophet is actually respawning right now as KYT is going to be burned down. The Lakel's Weaver not doing any damage because he had it all stolen. Another great hoof stomp from SD, but I don't think it's going to do much. Here comes my pro once again. Lakel's running into the Serpent Ward, still has the Aegis, but still not using it just yet. They're going to throw the Abaddon up into the air, and they will bring down Kai. But overall, that fight was much better for First Departure than the last, except Dafa's going to get hit by the Wave of Terror and killed off as well. I'm not sure what the entire score with that, but I'm pretty sure MiTH still came out on top in a 3-for-2 trade. Lost their Tier 1 tower, which is not a terribly huge deal because it's a Tier 1 tower 20 minutes into the game. So, First Departure, that was definitely the best fight that they've taken in a long time, except for the Roshan fight, and it still wasn't the great for them.
Yeah, it's, like I said, the best fight they've taken or could have taken at the moment, but MiTH. The biggest deal was that Weaver actually, he did not run away from that static link. If he had, I think this fight would have gone just completely different. Just use that one Sukuchi to get away from the static link and then come back in. Because I think he got like 168 points of damage stolen or something. It's not a place where you usually want to be if you're a right-click carry pretty much. But in any case, oh man, there's a Rod of Athos finished on Death Prophet now. They're just getting so much gold all in all. I mean, even with that fight, all it did for First Departure is just even out the graph. Still almost a 14,000 gold lead for MiTH. XP actually still keeps rising, almost 13,000, so it's an uphill battle for First Departure, and it's not like they have those huge late game heroes that can just stage comebacks pretty easily, so I'm not too sure what they actually have to do. I mean, I guess MiTH, they just have to slip up.
First Departure, what they need to do is just constantly use the Batrider lasso to get picks on anyone. Like, they're not going to get the Weaver, that's just not on the table, but killing off the Centaur or the Doom or the VS or the Death Prophet, those are all still viable kills, especially when you have the Lifestealer Bomb. So that's their best bet right now, but this is not good for them. SD is going to jump forward for another hoof stomp onto Dafa. This is going to be the easy kill on the Batrider. Magic Missile even being used, Stampede even being used, kind of unnecessarily, but doesn't really matter because they get the kill regardless. And now they're going to go for a tier 2 tower push straight off of that. First departure, the worst thing that they could do right now is lose any hero without getting any trades, and that's exactly what's going on. So MyPro has Exorcism, but I don't even know if it's necessary right now. He's going to hold on to it. There's a swap back. That's a level 2 swap. Surprise for KS. Hoofstomp to follow, and this Razor is not long for this world. He gets mech'd up, but it's not going to be enough. Kai also in an awkward position. Lubby's going to get doomed up. They're going to take down 2 as Lubby is going to be brought down shortly after. Kai on the run. Lakels wants this kill, and he's probably going to get it as well. Shield not going to do it. It's a double kill beyond godlike streak for Lakels, whose current score is 13-0-7. The rest of this Exorcism is going to bring down this tier 2, and, well, I mean, Miracle's in the middle lane, almost at a Basher, which is nice, I guess, but this is not looking good for first departure at all. They're almost getting 3 for 1 as far as the kill score is concerned, and the lead in the Golden Experience is just constantly going the way of MiTH.
Yeah, it's just, to be honest, so beautiful to watch Lakels a player, how they're playing this Weaver, how aggressive he went early on, just roaming to another lane or TPing to another lane to help out. So, just, he's been a part of 20 kills, and usually some heroes that, for example, go for Radiance, they just get a crazy amount of kills and assists just because they actually damage everybody. But Weaver, yes, his Swarm has the ability to hit everybody and he can Sukuchi through in theory, but he's been just so thorough, been doing such a great job. And also, man, SD, this center, on a support center, had 10 minutes Stampede as well as Blink. And he's been landing so many huge hoofstones. But MyPro, he's gonna get lassoed again. There's the lifesteal bomb coming out, so MyPro, he's gonna lose his life here. Hexed up as well. But once again, you get that 1 kill, but you're not stopping the biggest threat, the Weaver.
And Weaver is now packing a Desolator, so the damage is really gonna flow. Yeah, for MiTH, it's really been the Centaur and the Weaver combination that's really been doing it. Everyone else has been doing more or less their jobs, but it's hard to say that the Centaur and Weaver haven't been stealing the show, and well, they're just gonna aggressively farm up the enemy jungle. TNK slowly starting to make his rotation down there, along with the Doom, who has been working with the Hand of MiTH. Didn't really get a good look at when that came up, but it's up regardless. Now they're gonna go for Kai. Hoofstomp is there, and he does have borrowed time, but I don't think he could borrow quite enough time. He's gonna try to teleport out, and it looks like he will survive actually. So I guess Abaddon's got to be happy with that, because he does survive, but a hollow victory, I would say. Maybe they get this tier 2 top lane, but here comes KYT. He has a Blink Dagger Doom ready and waiting, probably for Dafa if he could find him, although Miracle will work in a pinch. SD is now in the front lines as well, and they're going to jump forward. They're going to catch the Lifestealer, doom him up. He does have his armlet up as well, so he's going to take a lot of damage. In the meantime, Lakel's not going to get any damage stolen. It's going to be huge. Mikasa's going to try to kill the tower before he dies. The tower is going to go down to the wards, but it is a death on the Lifestealer, and MiTH Trust, they're more than okay with sacking these towers because they already still have such a huge gold lead. Now, what is going to be the objective for MiTH? Roshan is available, and with the Weaver, with the Desolator, and the Howl, or Wave of Terror rather, and the Medallion, this Roshan is going to be easy pickings for MiTH.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be easy for them. Wow, I actually guess it's like 10 seconds maximum. I don't really see it taking longer for them, and I'd be extremely surprised if MyPro used his Exorcism for it. They do have some vision as well. This Observer Ward is going to expire in 18 seconds, but I think Roshan is going to be dead before this anyway. Just so much minus armor coming out. And yeah, Roshan just... it melts, and look at Weaver, already has a Demon Edge as well, so Monkey King bot or Daedalus here.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter which one. KS is gonna even take a shockwave from the Satyr. I don't really know why the Satyr did that, but they're gonna catch Dafa. Oh man, he had a Blink Dagger for about a second, but now a Hoof Stomp from long range. I mean, Centaur's been landing these Hoof Stomps right on the edge, and another pick off on the Bat Rider. They have the Aegis, they have pretty much everything they need. The only thing I could see MiTH Trust waiting for, potentially, is a BKB on someone, like I don't even know who, just BKBs in general, or an Assault Cuirass on the Doom. That'll make breaching high ground just so much easier. Doom has the Assault Cuirass. No, it's going to be Shiva's. Okay, Shiva's is also good. So they're going to get those big, nice armor items up onto MiTH's side. And after this, I don't really know if they're going to wait for anything. They could get stronger for sure. Weaver is still 2 slots before he's completely 6-slotted, and he'll be a lot more powerful then. But there's so much more powerful than First Departure right now than that going for anything but a straight push is going to be a mistake.
Yeah, it's... wow, well, it's a Shiva's finish now on Doombringer, so... not gonna be that AC from the plate mail, but Shiva's is good enough for him to just be that frontline tank for them. He can literally just stand under the tower, right click away, maybe activate Scorcher if it's really necessary, and And I just feel like Lobby has to pop the Mass Serpent Force just to defend.
Dafa's gonna miss his Blink initiation. Lakel's off to the side. Already doing some pretty huge damage, but he's not gonna get focused by the Serpent Wards. He's taking quite a bit more than he's dealing, but they do bring the tower down to about half HP. Don't really use that much. They're gonna mech up, and still the Bat Rider has his lasso possibility to initiate. MiPro still working away with that exorcism. Serpent Wards deployed defensively is going to look like save this tower. Lakel's gonna get his Lincoln Sphere popped. But yeah, MiTH, they probably don't really want to be going with this one since exorcism is down, so I think it's time to back off just for a couple more minutes and wait for the exorcism to come back online again. They brought the tower down to half. Next time they could kill it entirely.
Yeah, actually mid lane is pushing pretty damn nicely from first departure themselves, and funny enough, first departure they have that one tower advantage for the time being, so actually pretty well done by them, but still not nearly enough global gold just because all the heroes are farming as well. So I think MiTH, just go push the next, or the tier 2 towers that are still remaining. Or, oh man, they've smoked up, they want to come in from behind. They're running the wrong direction, or are they? Do they see Dafa? Are they gonna get MiPro again with this initiation? Are you kidding me? It's going to be the third time. Lasso, it's gonna be on target as well, Miracle. Everybody's close enough, or at least they should be. Stampede, did it actually get used? Never mind. SD doesn't want to blink in, Hoofstomp only lands onto one, but it's enough to get that one kill. KS, he's gonna get doomed up. Shiva's got to slow him down as well. Magic missile just in case from TNK and Kai. Does he have a TP? Yes, he does. He's gonna get back to safety. But a 2-for-1 trade in the end. Just first departure, I mean, nice idea and everything, but they just don't have enough.
Yeah, a good idea, unfortunately, poor timing. They didn't know that MiTH were right behind them the entire time, and well, Miracle's got to get himself out of this bottom lane. Losing the Death Prophet kind of sucks, but she has enough gold to just snap by those Boots of Travels and travel to the bottom lane. I think that probably is going to be what she's going to do. Top lane's pushing a little bit, but it's just creeps, no heroes there, so it's going to be perfectly fine to leave that as it is. They're just going to go for high ground once again. The Bat Rider doesn't have a lasso, and now they're going to go onto Mikasa, dropping him so very low with just one right click. Look at this Lysander just get chunked down. He's going to infest out and be fine for a little bit, but not for very long. He's going to get ward trapped in the end. He phases into him. That's not a good situation without the Lifestealer, and they can't actually make a defense. This has got to be a Lifestealer buyback. If not, they're just going to lose. MiPro not going to travel down to the bottom lane. In fact, MiTH Trust, I don't think they could break through these Serpent Wards and the tower, especially with the Lifestealer buying back, but they're certainly going to try. Lakel's one hit onto Dafa is actually going to miss to high ground, but still, MiTH Trust, I don't really know what they're doing here. They can't go without their exorcism, and, well, they're just getting a little bit of farm, keeping first departure in the base, I guess, but it's just a matter of time before Dafa finds someone to lasso.
Yeah, they are looking for the Firefly. Actually, Firefly just wore off, so suddenly initiation a little bit harder, or I guess initiation you can do it just the same, but just the damage aspect won't be there afterwards. And now MiPro picks up the Boots Trials straight up into the action. Lakelsto might be in trouble. Nope, Lincoln Stuffa. Well, that lasso went into the Lincolns. A little bit unfortunate. Stun from SD. Misses though as well. Miracle. He got silenced up, but he's just fine. Tower down though. No, Lakels, look at this lobby. That's 2 right clicks only. They're gonna use the Stampede as well. KS doomed up once again. Dafa, he tried to do anything at all, but no, it's GG called MiTH. They just overpowered first departure.
Alright, well, MiTH Trust showing that they are certainly fighters. Lakel's Weaver as well as SD's Centaur really being the driving forces behind MiTH Trust. And, well, first departure, the Abaddon didn't do jack, really. So, hopefully they're going to play a little bit more vanilla or a little bit more first departure-esque in the next game, because there is another game coming up.
Yeah, I mean, thank God for that. Should be another great one, to be honest, man. 17-0 Weaver. Lakel's, what a beast. Of course, overall team performance was what allowed him to just go as Berserk. But, guys, like Mike Lawler said, we're gonna head into game number 2 now. So, I do hope you enjoyed this game number 1. And, of course, if you did, you can always drop a follow to just support us on this channel, as well as HeflaTV 2 and HeflaMoke. But, we're gonna head into game 2, so hope to see you there.